Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the the Lonely Podcast. I decided that I'm not gonna upload every day. I'm gonna upload every day except for Fridays and Saturdays. I think that's fair. And then I just talk, half an hour a day. And I'm recording this at 8:56, which is very late for me. Usually I go to sleep at 9 because I wake up at 5. But I keep going on the grind. I will not stop. I record this every day except from Friday and Saturday because I'm committed. I made a New Year's resolution to do two things. Reach efficiency 5 just at life, being the most efficient person I could ever be. I'd say right now I'm at like maybe 4.5 because I'm doing quite a lot, but it's more the I don't know. Just I think I can. I still think I have room for improvement, just like everyone. So maybe I'll never even reach efficiency 5. Maybe that's the goal. Maybe when I don't know. Maybe when I'm 60, that's the only time I'll reach efficiency 5, and I'll say, okay, I can say that throughout my life, I've been 100% efficient. Maybe, but my goal is efficiency 5 for New Year's, and my second goal is to obviously get a girlfriend. But that's like a whole other realm of hardness. But that leads us on to today's topic, which is growth. Now, growth for me at least is so interesting. It's so interesting. It ties to success. My EPQ is going to be about success, so growth will definitely be a part of it. Obviously, they're not the same thing. Like for example, growth is like a can lead you to success, but I would still say they're, how are they separate? How is growth and success separate? I would say growth is more more internal, and I know being successful means you have to have a certain level of growth internally, but I think growth is just a part of success. Success doesn't isn't the full scope. Growth isn't the full scope of success. That's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah. I feel like that's true. So, the thing that I was thinking about recently is, do you have to have do you have to be in adversity to grow as a person? And this might, you know, I think the most obvious answer would be yes, you do have to have a lot of adversity to grow as a person, but I also think there are lots of other factors. For example, I I face a bit of adversity like everyone else, but I wasn't born in the slums. I feel like growth is feel like the way, because I think I've grown a lot as a person. So the way I see how the blueprint for how specifically a young person can grow is that they need to have a certain level, a minimum amount of adversity, along with a high amount, depending on how much you want to grow. I'd say the core elements are adversity and inspiration. I feel like that makes sense. Because inspiration then stems, what's it called? What am I trying to say? Inspiration then stems motives. If someone inspires you, they align with your motivation, and I think the inspiration aligns with the motivation rather than the motivation going into the inspiration. Because I'm talking, that might not be the case when you're like 20 or something, but I think when you're like young, when you're like teenagers, maybe younger, I think your inspirations or your role models leads you to have motivations, which might be contradictory to myself, because I think that I'm probably the most, how do I describe it? I think I'm the least capitalist and more environmentally conscious than the rest of my family, because I look up to my dad and my mom a lot, but I would still say that, like, I remember my dad keeps making fun of me for this. I said I'm never going on a private jet ever. Like, I've been on a private jet when I was like 5 years old, but I've decided no, I'm never going on one again, even if I have the opportunity, if someone invites me, because of the amount of pollution that it gives. And my dad says, all right, so when we're more rich, when we go on private jets, you're just going to be going in your economy class seats or whatever. And And I said, yeah, I'm willing to do that. So it's interesting, like, but then again, it's not. This isn't entirely about growth. It's about conscientiousness. So I'd say maybe what I'm talking about isn't. It's not. I'm not saying it's not relevant, but it's drifting. So if I were to talk about growth specifically, I'd say, yeah, inspiration. What did I say? Fuck. I said inspiration and adversity. Let me think about that. Inspiration and adversity. If I was really inspired and I had to, ooh, but there's a limit. There's is it called a bottleneck? I hope I'm using that word right. I'm trying to expand my vocabulary. I think there's like a bottleneck to how much adversity you have to face to grow as a person in the first place. Like, for example, if you're a kid and you've been beaten up constantly, you've got no parents, like you're in a foster home, you're low and you're, let's say you're in South Africa and you're in impoverished and everything. The Even if you have a good inspiration, it's harder for me to sit here and say all the two things that you need is inspiration and some adversity, when sometimes there's obviously too much adversity. So, which sucks because it just shows how the world is even more unfair than it already is, if if someone faces too much adversity, even if they're maybe I'm wrong in saying this, and I hope I'm wrong because it's pretty pessimistic. No matter what anyone can do, there's some people that just can't be successful. If I'm making this claim, that's what I'm saying, which I hate. Me saying that makes me very upset, and I'm trying to find reasons to not agree with that, but I mean, let's see. So let's say you face the most amount of adversity and you have the least amount of chance to grow. I'm not talking about success, to grow. Alright? So, because there's different metrics of this. If you were to talk about tribesmen, like the African tribesmen that we leave alone and that are untouched by normal society, they have potential to grow because the amount of adversity, I feel like the amount of adversity they face, along with a sprinkle of inspiration to make them keep fighting and keep going on, they can be like top of their tribe. Like, I feel like, I mean, obviously there's anomalies, but I feel like everyone in a tribe has a chance to grow. I'm pretty confident that about, maybe not 100%, but a huge percentage, like 90% of people in a tribe can grow to be the best person in the tribe, or just the best person that they can be. I feel like growth once again. If we're talking about success, which we're trying not to, and we're talking about pure growth, I'd say, actually that changes things. That changes a few of the statements I just made. If we're talking about growth as in trying to strive to being the best person that you can be, I mean, technically that means anyone can grow, and it doesn't matter what your upbringing is or income is or anything. Anyone can grow. Not everyone can be successful because of the reasons that I stated, but everyone can grow. Because, yeah, I feel everyone can grow. Not everyone can be successful, but it's not about being successful. It's about growing. I feel like everyone, whether you're beaten or destroyed or in like the worst conditions possible, you can grow I still think you can grow as a person. Now, is it a lot harder and is the path a lot more treacherous than someone like me? Absolutely. But it's a lot more easier for me to become successful than the average impoverished person, but it's still easier for me to grow, but it's less easy for me. It's less easier for me to grow compared to it's less easier for me to grow compared to someone living in the slums than it is for me to be successful than someone in the slums, if that makes sense. That's the way I'm kind of trying to phrase it, and I think that makes sense. I feel like that makes sense because every human has the capability of growth. It's harder, but do they? Do they really? Can everyone grow? If okay, let's take it in stages of age and class. All right, I feel like that's the kind of graph to measure it as, to measure it with, if that makes sense. Or would you use a? You'd use more of a table. I don't know if you'd use a graph to visually conceptualize this, but if you were to take, I'll start from 10-year-old child. The 10-year-old child has a high amount of adversity with a high amount of, and observe, and by the way, I'm talking adversity in terms of like wealthiness, family, like living standards, all those stuff. All right, so, or just challenges they have to face. If a 10-year-old faces a high amount of adversity, and has a high respect and appreciation for his inspiration, I think that kid can grow. That can definitely grow. If he had a very, 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 very low amount of adversity and had a high inspiration, that's where it gets interesting. That's where I think he's less likely to grow. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be harder for him to grow because to grow you need to face some sort of adversity. You have to, right? You have to. There's no way to grow without facing adversity. Now, does this mean that everyone who's fully grown has faced the most amount of adversity? No, because and that's the reason why I think inspiration plays a big role in it as well, or at least influence. Influence? I don't know about the word influence. Would I use the word influence? Because then if you use the word influence, adversity kind of ties into the word influence, and it kind of becomes, it's a tangled metric that it's harder to explain instead of saying inspiration, but maybe influence is right. So obviously you can see I'm trying to be super technical and analytical with my words, like Jordan Peterson or something. I really hope I don't sound stupid. All right, tell me in the comments if I sound stupid compared to my other podcasts. But I'm just trying to think about this very critically because I'm interested in it. I don't know. I think the two metrics of growth, especially in a child, since you're the most malleable when you're young, is growth and adversity. Adversity and inspiration. And maybe biology, I guess you could say. But biology, I don't think biology is the main factor, usually. Damn it, yeah. So that ties into the next part, which is the best way of growing. I would say best way of growing. See, I don't know this. I think, I don't know. I really don't know the best way to grow. I think I've grown a lot, and I think I faced adversity, but how much? But I don't know. It's hard. It's so hard to put it into relative terms and all of this stuff. This is like a I think this is. I think people should do a study to see, okay, from high income to low income, from age, and the metric should be obviously adversity to inspiration. I think there should be a test among a survey in different people to see how much they think they can grow as a person. And obviously some people are delusional, but then through what's it called? I should know this. I do psychology. A key word through shit. This is disappointing. Sorry. Through the word qualitative. There we go. Qualitative interviews and maybe talking to other people. I think you can. Most researchers can differentiate what's it called? Nihilists or people who, what's it called? Why am I losing all my words all of a sudden? From people who are reliable to people who are delusional. There we go. And I think through that you can measure how to grow as a person, the best way to grow as a person. I'm sure people have. Jordan Peterson talks about this all the time. Everyone agrees that adversity is the main thing. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just haven't been paying attention. I mean, Joe Rogan talked about how important inspiration is as well. Like, I probably mentioned this in previous episodes, but yeah, once like low class black neighborhoods like Compton or something, if they don't, their role models are could be like drug dealers or they, the way they live is what's it called? The way they live makes them not have much people to look up to. That's the point I'm trying to make. Unlike me, because I live a very luxurious life. I faced some adversity, but I've got lots of inspiration and role models. You know what I mean? So it's different. So I don't know. You'd have to look at. I don't want to. I want to talk about successful people. I don't want to say you have to look at successful people, but they can definitely be what's it called? They could definitely help find out the best way to grow, because growth makes up 65%, but that's maybe some BS percentage I just made up. This is completely rough. I'd say about 60% of success. Yeah, I'd say if you've fully grown as a person, that makes you very successful, but I think you need to do more than that. Like Jordan Peterson said, you need to growing as a person first takes, like, just by yourself on an individualistic level, is doing actions that can help you now and yourself in the future, and then growing slightly more and being successful at the same time. This is where I add more spin to it. And being successful at the same time, or at least more successful at the same time, means that you help out you and your loved ones, like your family and maybe your friends. And on top of that, being very successful is growing as a person, helping your family, doing actions that help your family and help even more people. Alright? And then true success, in my opinion, my epitome of success, the place that I want to be when I'm older. Alright? The perfect view I've got in my mind of being a successful person is doing all those things and being not influential, because your actions still help other people and your family and everything. So influential, I would say legacy, helping people even when you're dead. That's what a legacy is. When you're so inspiring that when you're a rotting corpse, people still look up to you. That's my dream. That's amazing. That's the thing that I hope for. It's just that's it, right? Like, what more could you ask for? Like even in my book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's even, I don't know if I would call it, maybe it's even psychological, that when people, like in the book it said that someone's granddad that only had all girls paid his grandson like 250, like 25 grand or something to carry his last name, because of how important your legacy, like how important that title is. You know what I mean? And it's a very, very interesting and complicated topic that I'm going to stop talking about, because we're talking about growth and success. I want to talk about later when I've done more research for my PQ and stuff. So sorry, whoever is really interested in that. I'll leave that on a cliffhanger. Now, the next thing about growth is why people don't grow. I've made a case for what my metrics of how to grow more is, but, well, I guess I kind of already talked about how people don't grow. People grow when they've got bad influences and when they face too much adversity, or too little adversity. Either one. But that's weird. Why am I? No. If I'm saying too much or too little adversity, I'm kind of playing down how important adversity is, aren't I? No, but then people can. No. I feel like people can also grow as a person if they. People can also grow as people if they rely on, without too many influences. Oh, man, I don't know. Like, for example, yeah, people who face a medium, maybe a bit too much adversity, but they don't have good influences, they still can be successful. Yeah, they can be. They definitely can. I need more people on this goddamn podcast, I swear to God, to give me a second opinion. But yeah, I think so. I think, I don't know. What's the situation in which someone can never grow? When they face way too much adversity, that's like they can't physically cope with it, and when they have no role models. Yes, I do think that someone like that cannot grow. It's too much. Those are the anomalies that I'm talking about. Now, if someone has a bunch of influences but faces way too much adversity as well, then they can't grow. But if they face just, I don't know, like it's so hard to draw a line. Like where the hell do you draw the line between too much adversity? Like is your parents beating you? Is that too much or is that not too much? Okay, let's say that's not too much. Oh, let's say you're starving. Is that too much or not too much? Well, I'd say that's maybe, I don't know, maybe it's too much. It's tough. I like maybe. Yeah, once again, let me think of another metric. There's or another dimension to growth. There's influences, there's adversity. Opportunity is not one of them because that's about success. That's not about growth. So I wouldn't say that. Well, I guess you could, but I wouldn't say that. Could say gratitude, but I wouldn't say that either because that stems from. I wouldn't. Something doesn't sit right with me when you say gratitude is one of them. I don't know why. Let me think. If you're grateful, then no, I wouldn't say it. I think that's a bit different. I can't think of anything else apart from adversity, and then I'm gonna ask my friends, hey, what do you guys think? And they'll probably give me one or two more other dimensions to how much people can grow, and I'll be like, God damn it. Maybe I'll see. Let's see what the internet has to say about this. If I search up, what are the dimensions to growth? Here we go. Okay, there's a few more things. 5 dimensions to growth-enabled organizations. Organizations? I'm not talking about organizations, am I? Number 1 is aspiration. Well, yeah, I guess so. I guess you could say aspiration, but then it kind of ties with influences. If someone influences, well, yeah, maybe it is good enough. Let's just read them all out and see what I think. There's aspiration, operating model. I feel like I'm reading something different. Culture. Maybe if I type, I don't think I typed it right. Make growth as a person. No, wait. 7 stages to human development. 7 stages to human development. No, that's just shit, man. I don't know. Let me just. I'll scrap that. How successful people. Oh, okay. For the last 5 minutes, my last point was how successful people grow. I love that. Thank you, past me. Now, how do successful people grow? Is there a simple line towards growth? Let me take one of the most successful person on the planet, Elon Musk. Apparently, Elon Musk was born fairly wealthy, if I'm wrong. He was born in South Africa. Let's see. How wealthy was Elon Musk family? His father. Oh, wow. Elon Musk's family was wealthy during his youth. Alright. So, he was wealthy, which means that, I mean, if he's clearly successful, this might be a bit too speculative, but I'm assuming his influences were high, as in he was around very successful people. He wanted to be like them in a way. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but adversity. Did Elon Musk suffer from a lot of adversity? Now, maybe not financially. But I don't know. I think he would have. But once, you think, oh, I think he would have. Yeah, like, you don't know though. I need to have Elon Musk on the podcast, you know what I mean? Like Joe Rogan. Let me think of another example. I don't know. What's the perfect breeding ground for growing as a person, or for to grow so much that you can focus on? I'd say once you've fully grown, you can focus on being genuinely successful. That's how I see it, and I think that's fair to say. Yeah, I'd say that, because then you have internal growth, working on yourself, and external growth, and just being, yeah, I'd say, would I agree with what I just said? That once you fully grow as a person, you can be successful. Let me think. If right now, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. We can all agree, or at least most people can agree, that Elon Musk is pretty successful. Now, if Elon Musk was emotionally, we didn't know this, but let's say Elon Musk was emotionally shattered and destroyed. He hated every day of his life, and he didn't spend time with his family or kids or anything. Would he be successful? That's a tough question, because he's done so much. I would argue no. I don't think he would be successful. Now, if Martin Luther King, who is definitely successful in my eyes, I mean most people's eyes, obviously, if he was emotionally distraught, he hated every single day of his life and everything, I would argue that Martin Luther King would be successful, because if let's say someone in general who is depressed and they hate their life, but they're doing so much good in the world, they're doing so much good. It's like what? Like, even, yeah. If someone who is almost on the break of ending world hunger, but he was depressed, he was about to kill himself, he hates his life, he hates it, everything's awful, I would still say that he is successful. Maybe that's just me. Maybe he hasn't grown as a person, but I'd still argue he's very successful, because for me personally, success is growth is one dimension, but the main thing to me about success is how influential or how many people you've helped. Yeah, I'd say that. But that's a topic for another day. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this podcast. I had fun doing it. I didn't know how passionate I would have been about this topic, but clearly I was able to fill in a solid half an hour. So thank you guys for listening, watching, and subscribing. I'm never saying that again. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.